Welcome to Black Business Recommendation, and tonight we are speaking to Windrush Bay partners in working, and that is Joanna Crossley, who's a founder and CEO, and Bradley Henderson, who is a marketing director. So together they make what we know as Windrush Bay, the food and vegetable and all manner of the food that we actually carry in, and it's delivered to your door. So it's a door-to-door service from order to delivery, and the delivery is within the M25. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's right. Okay, all right. So the first question I will ask you is, how are you two? How are you doing? How's business?
Yeah. Well, it's been quite extraordinary actually, because the business started quite a long time ago, and we always wanted to have the offer of fruit and veg boxes, and we thought about it for a while. We parted a couple of times, and in September of last year we decided we're going to relaunch, and we have a fantastic social media team in Hugh and Satch. So that's Danita Moore and Puneet Chadha, who supported us in getting the exposure about the fruit and veg boxes in particular. We have a website that offers a wide range of other Caribbean products. And shortly after the lockdown, it suddenly just exploded. Now, we were gathering some momentum towards the end of last year, and earlier this year, we had some people who were promoting it on the site. We had a couple of influencers who also, sort of exposed the wonders of our tropical fruit and veg box. And it's just gone crazy, to say the least, over the last month or so. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And at this point, I would just like to say a big thank you to everybody who has, looked at the website and has given us some really fantastic, positive feedback and support. Really appreciate it. So big thank you to everybody.
And please have patience with us, because the magnitude of order is such that, it's very difficult to do it in 3 or 4 days. So please have patience with us, especially in this present situation.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have caught the idea and the convenience of having something that you provide. That's good. And we can receive what we have, and in a short period of time. A lot of people have now got onto the idea, and I hope that, well, I'm not going to hope. What I'm going to say is, I'm going to ask you, because I want the people to maintain, that consistency and buy-in and thinking that, this is what we need to do in future, not just a one-off. Because a lot of businesses fall by the wayside because everybody wants to do the first thing, which is to do the quick order. But after that, they don't order again, and then they ask, what happened to the business that I used to go to 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So how are you going to maintain that level or that public awareness? Because you must be having nightmares because if this thing finishes. Yes. End, but at the end of the day, we want it that you can actually maintain what you have and improve on it. So how are you going to do that?
Right. Well, I should say Windrush Bay wasn't just only about the tropical fruit and veg boxes. Yeah. We offer a range of grocery products, rums, beauty products, and we've also been looking to expand that range. So we're about offering the best of the Caribbean across the board. And with the tropical fruit and veg box, how we see it is that it's actually an alternative to actually visiting the high street, and not just for the busy mother, people who've got busy, hectic lifestyles, but for older generations who, for whatever reasons, can't get out. And we're particularly keen on serving that particular group of people, that they have the convenience of having the food being brought to their door. And we're positive that people will understand the wonder of actually having the food delivered to them at their convenience. The food is as fresh as it can possibly be. We take great care when we pack the boxes. We cover our hands. We're hygienic. All these really important things that we want to stress to our customers, that we take great care. And we're hopeful that people see that actually it means that their time is freed up to do other things. So rather than schlepping down the high street to jostle with other people to buy your Caribbean provisions. You can have the convenience of it being brought to your door. And I think for us, I think that's the thing that we just want to hone in on, and I'm sure that people do see the benefit of that.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at your website, we're aghast at the amount of things that you have selling. So people think it's only fruit and veg. Yeah, you better have a look at the website because there's a lot more to it, and I want some seasoning shops. Okay, so people are running out, I don't want to go in the shop. Yeah, so sorry.
I was going to say, it's our intention to give the community everything that it ever wants in one place. So there's no need to go to different places. Everything you ever want from your, wherever island it's from, and we haven't finished it, it's going to be a lot more. You can just go straight on. It's like, we use the word, it's like the Waitrose of the Caribbean, of online shopping. You go straight there, you get whatever you want, and you'll be happy. You can afford to relax and do whatever you want, enjoy time with the family.
Yeah. I
so
think
the next thing that we need to do is, in terms of what the business does, the question is, what are the problems that you've faced so far? What are the issues that you have had to deal with? Because I know a lot of people are happy with the service, but there will be a generic misunderstanding of how the food is delivered and what the quantity is, because it might be, is it measured, is it weighed, one yam bigger than the other and everything like that. So for people to understand the logistics of what you're trying to do, so that's important.
Yes, basically, once we purchase the items, we don't decide who gets what. We simply empty the boxes according to the size of the pumpkins. One day they might be huge, and I'm going to give you an example. Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. We've got a bit of technical problems here. Okay, one second. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, we're just going to come back to you 1 second. We've got a bit of technical difficulty because we can't hear you. So, our sound seems to be.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I can hear you now.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, we had so everything is better now. Okay.
Right. I was going to say to you, we don't determine the size of the pumpkin in boxes. We simply get pumpkin and put them in boxes. However, there are times when we get small pumpkins, and there are times when we get huge pumpkins. You can see the size of this.
Yeah.
That is actually too big to go into a large box, so we'll have to cut it and make it 2 mediums.
Okay.
But we don't. The same as the yams. They come in various sizes and there's lengths. We just fit it into the box, and that is what we do. We don't decide who gets what, or this person is going to get a big one today, or next week they're going to get a small one. We don't do that at all. We simply purchase the material, the items, and then we put them in the boxes accordingly.
Right. So the idea is that if you get like 4 lines, it's not the size of the lines, you get 4 lines.
Yes,
exactly.
4 lines, yeah. At this point in time, we don't determine, the box by the weight. We don't. It's literally, this is what you'll get in the medium box. This is 12 items.
Are you there?
Yes, we're there.
Right.
We've got a bit of frozen. Yeah.
Frozen 3.
So, can you repeat that? So, what would you say? Because we never heard the frozen out. Yeah.
Oh, right. So what we were saying is that the boxes are not determined by weight. We have 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, and each size has 12 core items in the box.
Yeah.
And within that, you will have slightly more for each size. So the medium, the small, the large will have the same number of items in terms of their 12 items, but the quantity will increase for each size. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things now, it's about the freshness of the food. Now, I know that, you know, Caribbean food, if it's brought out in the sun too long after being taken from Mother Earth, then there becomes a problem. Have you found that, you know, that's been a problem in particular food? I mean, any particular food in which you might find that the heat and so on makes the food look like it's not the way it's supposed to be presented, but, you know, have you found any problems there?
Yes, well, I mean, we pride ourselves in presenting the best possible freshness that we can to the customers. That's really important. And I think the thing I want to also stress is about the fact that there's minimal handling with our fruit and veg, because it comes in from overseas, and then it goes straight into the customer's box. So there's a minimal amount of handling, and that's what enables the products to remain as fresh as possible, because the alternative is that you go to the corner shop and there are a number of people touching the same grocery items. In our case, that's absolutely minimalized. And there are challenges. There will always be challenges with things like scallion, which, you know, they have to be kept cool. They will wilt after a short period of time. So storage is quite key. Same thing with plantains and bananas. Over a period of time, they will ripen. But we pride ourselves on making sure that we pick the freshest produce that we possibly can for our customer.
Wonderful, especially in this time as well. Where
yes, exactly. Because, you know, obviously the fresher it is, the more nutrients there are, you know, there is in the produce, and ultimately it's for the benefit of the customer, for all of us, really. So I think, you know, in terms of this kind of an alternative way of shopping for tropical fruit and veg, it has so many sort of advantages, because, as I said before, the handling is at a minimal.
We call it the three prong. We call it the picker, the packer, and the seller, and these are the only three that gets it before you touch it.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Now, the question for me and many of our members is that you deliver outside of London, please. When are you going to do so?
Well, I mean, I know. I mean, obviously, we need to look at the costings around this, and, you know, we've had a number of calls from all over, you know, England, actually, from, you know, Birmingham down to Canterbury, Sheffield, Northampton, everywhere, saying, you know, do you deliver to these locations? And that is something that we are looking at. We wanted to start off by getting testing the water, if you like, really, with starting off with the Greater London region and the M25, just to see what reaction we would get to it. And of course, the reaction's been fantastic. Now we're at a point where we will now start to need to, you know, look at going further afield and organising the logistics for that. So, you know, that's something
it's going to be difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. Just for the sake of our audience, Joanne, I'm going to introduce you guys again for members that are just signing in now. Windrush Bay, and the managing director we have here with us is Joanna Crossley, and we also have the CEO, which is Bradley Henderson.
No, it's the other way around. CEO is Joanna Crossley, marketing director is Bradley.
He is actually the marketing director. Am I correct?
Yes, I am. You got that one right.
I don't want to start any sort of issues, but I just wanted to introduce you again to our members that are joining on with us now, and just say thank you very much for the service that you are providing presently. It's obviously under these circumstances that we find ourselves in, I'm sure people are finding it more than invaluable that such great, fresh, homegrown produce is, you know, reaching their doors by as few hands as possible. So, you know, we thank you very much for that. So, you know, obviously going ahead now.
I've got a tricky question for you both. It is. This is my manager, my wife. She must be obeyed. At my other workplace, that's how I refer to her. She who must be obeyed. Question is, how are you two in terms of working together? What are the strains and struggles and the good things that, you know, you have both built something together? The question is, how are you two handling it?
She tells, I obey.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's a good working relationship.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think now I want to
answer the question.
I know you're speaking. I want to hear from Joanna exactly. How does it work?
Well, exactly that. Exactly what he said.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh Lord.
We've known each other long enough. We've known each other long enough to just do what we have to do.
I mean, obviously we both have our strengths. And it works really well, particularly with this, with this business. And we bounce ideas of each other, and sometimes we will, sort of have, some disagreements around, different approaches, but on the whole, it works exceedingly well. And we keep a good sense of humor about ourselves with this, so it's all good.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, Bradley, wait, one here. Talk to me. Okay, is it all good? Is it as good as you said?
There's form here. There's form here. There's history here, you see. And when you've known each other since you were young,
yeah,
and then you go your separate and you come back, the friendship from before makes things work perfectly, and because you have the same thought process.
Okay, because
I've just like Joanna. At 19, I used to run my own shoe shop, so we all did. Then I went into marketing for about 10, 15 years. So everything it's like the learning process throughout the years then comes into fruition now, because you get a chance to actually put it into practice for yourself. You understand?
That's brilliant. Obviously, business-wise, we listen to each other. That's the main thing, and you work to each other's strengths. So I believe then, obviously, you guys are very successful. That would be a key ingredient.
Yes,
yeah,
most certainly.
Very much so.
It's really important. I think that's really important.
And it's also important that if you have a disagreement about something, you don't keep it in, you just get it out and you move on to the next thing, because it becomes luggage and it starts disrupting your thought process. So because that's what business is all about. You argue about the points and then suddenly, okay, it doesn't work, let's try this one, and off you go. You don't stick around. Just
understood. So from here, what kind of advice would you give someone who is starting up a new business? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say just don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, this idea I had was started in 2008. And there were moments where I decided, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. It's such hard work. It's really difficult. The banks won't lend me any money. I've had to finance the business myself. And I would say, if you have a vision, stick with it, and don't lose heart, don't lose faith. Just stay strong and stay positive, and have positivity around you to help support you and buoy you up to keep you going. And just keep that vision in mind. That's what I would say.
To help you, not bring you down. If they're going to criticize you, then they're not helping you at all, because all support is what you need for us, the build up or whatever you want to do.
I think it's frozen again.
I think it's
Yeah. Can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us now? There's a technical hitch.
It's a hitch.
Yeah.
You keep going away.
Yeah. We're back again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Bradley, can you repeat that last thing you said?
No, I'm just saying, whatever you do, make sure you surround yourself with positive people, even if family or friends. Anytime you have negative people around you, you just need to just turn away from that, because you want people who's going to build you up, not bring you down, because the more you have to build you up, it's the stronger you go and the further you can get. Not only that, but you can turn around and help the ones who helped you to get where you are as well.
Okay, all right. I think that's a key ingredient, because it's one thing to build a business, it's supporting and creating a legacy. Yeah, but the legacy doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be about your family. The legacy is about our village.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we have that mindset, then clearly we have something that we deliver that has potential for the future, not just this month, fashion craze or whatever, but
exactly.
For a lot longer.
I agree, and Very much so. And I think for me, Windrush Bay was always about offering an alternative, a nicer alternative to that Caribbean shopping experience.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, it can be very functional, and there isn't much engagement with the person who's selling and the person who wants to buy. And obviously we're of Caribbean heritage, so we understand the foods, and we bring that passion to the wonders of yam, and the beauty of okra, and how beautiful that chocho, all those sorts of things. Whereas on the high streets, that engagement isn't there with our foods at all. So for us, Windrush Bay is about that. What we say is quintessentially Caribbean. What are those things that make us Caribbean? It's it's the hard food, it's the drinks, it's the rums, it's all of those things.
It's part of your DNA. It's part of our DNA, so we have to keep it.
Exactly. I mean, just to let you know, I mean, obviously with our audience, writing as we speak, and we've got someone saying thank you. Carol McKenzie, she said she ordered a box which was for her dad and sister. She was very pleased, and she says thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your feedback and your
another member, Spencer, Joanna, have you ever thought about adding seasoning products to your box?
We do actually have seasonings on the website. So if you go to the pantry section, there are sauces there are seasonings there are spices. So you've got the nutmegs, you've got the pimentos, they're all there, and we continue to add to the website. So keep sort of looking in, because we're adding more and more products all the time. But they are there.
Wonderful. One of the things about adding on the product was, I'm a Dashi man. Yeah?
Yes.
I'm a Dashi man, right?
Yes.
So, I understand that we can't have everything that we want, but we must be prepared to pay a little bit extra, because if we're going to get, a Dashi.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, most certainly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
So while the business actually states that there is a set, let's say, menu for the box, if people want the extra, they could communicate with you and get a price.
Yes, they can. They can.
Yeah?
Yes, they can actually order. You can actually order extra items. In fact, what we're doing is that we're actually adding more fruit and vegetables to the site to enable people to choose additional products. So, for instance, you have your core items in the box. You might decide, actually, I'd like some more plantain. You can order some more plantain. If you want some cocoa yam, you can add that to your box as well. And we'll be looking to add dasheen, we want to add the ginger, all those things will be included. So you have your core box, but you can start to add other products as well. So that option will be available very soon.
Okay. Can I ask you a question, Joanne? How are you now, in this time that we're in, how are you now marketing and upscaling your business? How are you both going around that?
Well, we're at the point now, actually, where we are looking to find wider premises, because obviously we're recognizing that, given the volumes that we've got, we want to be able to pack more products, more boxes, to get them out quicker. And the situation has been is that when we first started out, we were getting small volume, and then suddenly it went very, very fast, very quickly, very high, very quickly. So if we're in a position where we could find great, bigger premises, that means we could pack more stock, which means we can get the stock to customers a lot quicker. But currently we're saying it will take about 10 days, because that enables us, with the resources that we have, to regulate the volume. But if we had more space, that means that we can bring on more people to help to pack, which means that the stock goes to the customers a lot faster. So I'm appealing, if anybody has knows of anyone who's got a warehouse that's 2,000 square feet.
Just get in touch with us, please.
Yes.
And in terms of marketing as well, there are people within the group that, we can introduce to and can, get that collaboration going. So that could be something that, could be
fantastic.
Yes, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
But also as well, with your distributing, I mean, obviously you started the business now, you've been in business I think it's what, 10 years now?
Yeah, 10 years, yeah.
Right. So how did you get over that very big hurdle of distribution and having a distribution line?
Well, initially, when the business was started, we had sort of third-party couriers that we would dispatch products nationwide, but this didn't include the fruit and veg box. And when we started the fruit and veg box, we were actually doing it ourselves. We were actually delivering those boxes ourselves because it was manageable. We could cope with the volume. Yeah. And now what's happened is that we've had to take on 4 drivers to actually, provide that service for us within within Greater London and the M25. And as I mentioned before, a lot of people have been asking around, can you go beyond the M25? And that's obviously, we have to look at the logistics of that, and that's something we'd certainly love to do. But yeah, it's been a sort of a sudden jolt from, yes, we're doing it ourselves, we can deliver it ourselves in our own time, to actually now we've got to have the boxes packed by a certain time so that they go out by a certain time to ensure that the customers get it by a certain time. So yeah, so in terms of the logistics, it's a little bit more complex now.
I just want to say that one of the welcoming things from the drivers is that it's the look on the face of the customers when they receive their box. That actually makes their day. They said they're so happy just to see the look on the customers' faces when they receive their box. And I just think that's so cool. Thank you very much.
It is a good thing that we're working together, that we can promote what you're doing. And what it is I get 99% good feedback. And the questions that are asked of me to ask you are the kind of questions that it's just about knowing, that there is a service and how do I get it? And right now the Facebook group is actually, there are people asking, how do we get in touch? So the key for everyone is to remember that it's www.windrushbay.com. All
one word.com.
And then you can actually go on to the Windrush Bay to actually account to actually see all the foods and provisions that is there. And believe me, the pantry is vast, right? The things that you are looking for are there. And to think that it's going to improve, well, I hope that people start thinking, if we want our provision, why go down the road and get, disrespected to a certain degree?
Exactly.
We have our own rules, and that's what I thought.
Yes.
So thank you very much. Yeah. I know we're tight on time.
Sure.
So, yeah. My only last thing, as you speaking here, is obviously with the situation, the lockdown right now. Have you thought about or got plans in place for when things do lift and things start getting back to some form of normality? Yes. Those logistics and how are you going to market and upsell and start keeping this momentum?
Yes, most certainly. And our social media team have been brilliant in supporting that. And I think for us, we're positive that people will continue with that service, simply for the fact that they see the benefit of it. And it's all about the convenience. And we recognize that some people may decide, well, actually, I might still rather walk down the road and go and jostle in the shop and, jostle with others to pick the products and so on. That's fair enough. That's a choice. But, we're offering an alternative to that. So I think for us, it's really about maintaining that, letting people know about the quality that we're offering.
And then there's the other people who live further away from town who can't get to the shops.
Yes.
Who in their village somewhere in Staines don't have Caribbean products. They can have that delivered to their house at any time at their convenience as well.
Exactly. Because we recognize that obviously within, the big cities, some people can access the markets quite easily. But as the communities are spreading further and further out into, more local areas, sort of villages and things, they're finding it very difficult to get Caribbean provisions or tropical provisions. So our view is that service would still be needed. And it's not just about the provisions, it's all the other Caribbean goods that we offer as well. It's the treats, it's the luxuries, it's the beautiful chocolates, it's the beautiful rums, the cakes, all those things. Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yes, exactly.
The other thing as well, you have to remember, it's a thought process. We seem to think that we cannot indulge in this sort of experience. Everyone else does, so why can't we? Someone is offering it to you. You don't have to do it. You can spend time with your family. You can walk the park. You can go to the cinema. It's a thought process, and it's just getting around to thinking that, because it is changing, and that's what we're offering. We're going with the change. We're offering you that service.
Well, this is exactly what we thank you for, and as we move forward, obviously this is a business forum, so I'm quite, we are quite concerned, or when we get to speaking to people like yourselves, as to how you started, what nuggets of advice would you give to somebody right now who's in our group, thinking, do you know what, I've got an idea, but I'm thinking about the money, I don't know how. What advice would you give to them that will give them that upliftment to say, do you know what, I'm going to go for it?
Yeah, I would say to that individual or those individuals, write it down, because that helps to sort of visualize it. It's one thing that it's in your head, but write it down, sketch it out on paper, and when you put it on paper, you then can start to do kind of like a sort of a storyboard, if you like, and look at other options. Don't sort of fix yourself into one particular area, because when this business started, I wanted to do African products as well as Caribbean products, but I recognized that the continent of Africa is so huge, in terms of potentially what we could offer. I thought, well, actually I should just specialize in what I know best, which is the Caribbean, and sometimes you have to kind of fine tune your range as you go along. So I would say, sort of keep options open, don't limit yourself. And just be aware of what's going on around you, because with this situation with the coronavirus, this was totally unexpected and totally unprecedented, and it was such a shock to our system that suddenly, out of actually a very tragic situation, that this situation has arisen. But we were always there, we always had that offer, we always had that service, and it's only because of the situation that it was brought to the fore. But I think it's about just for individuals who are starting a business or thinking about it, just stay positive and just look at, different ways of doing things. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say.
And especially if you're young and you fail, you still have time to try again. Just keep trying again. Work out what you did wrong in the last time, and then tweak it, fix it, and try again.
Because when obviously with the business, we it was paused a couple of times for perfectly valid reasons, and it was a question of having to sort of step back and review and decide, well, actually, do I really need to have 5,000 products available on the site? Maybe I need to sort of hone it down and have the top 100. So that sort of thing. So you just keep going along and sort of fine tuning things as you go along the path.
And circumstances will make you adjust, and you have to have the ability to adjust and change accordingly as well.
So flexibility,
be adaptable, and even as I said, when I started the business, the original plan was to actually have a physical shop, and then the internet, the online, was going to be the sideline to the physical shop. But then the credit crunch came, which meant that I couldn't get a loan to get the shop. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just do it all online then. And it's been online ever since.
Right.
So, sometimes with situations that sort of, out of your control, you see those, you can see potentially that there could be an opportunity there with that.
So basically you prepared for opportunity.
Yes, exactly. The potential.
That, you first started with a growth mindset that you wanted to develop something. Then you prepared for that opportunity. And when the opportunity arose, as in today, you took advantage of that opportunity. As sad as it may be for many families who are out there who have suffered the losses, one of the things that has happened from this is that people have become aware of your business and have utilized that opportunity. So you know,
exactly.
in another.
And it never occurred to us at all, actually. It didn't even occur to us to think, oh, here's an opportunity. It just evolved because people were informing each other, actually, if you can't go out to get your groceries, why don't you order it online or from Windrush Bay, because they've got this fruit and veg box. And because we had a particular influencer who was literally bigging up this box, people cottoned on, oh, actually, that's quite handy. Saves me going down the road. If I'm self-isolating, I can have it brought to me. And so on it went, you see. So it wasn't necessarily that we saw something, we just dived into that. It was just that it just evolved over a period of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, with such a demand, the next question would be, okay, how the challenge is keeping the quality of your products.
Yes.
With the, the masses that are the demand that's going to come your way. Yes. So how are you going to? That's a fine. A fine balance. How do you think you'll cope with that?
Yes, I mean that's the thing that's really core to our business. Really, is about the quality, and I think at this point I have to stress that nothing is perfect. Human beings are not perfect. Even fruit and veg are not perfect.
Yeah,
and there will always be situations where we've looked at it, and for instance, yams, you can never tell for certain until you cut it that it may not be at its best. And we recognize those things and we do our best to rectify those situations. But, we make the point of checking beforehand to see whether it's up to standard before we put it in the box. We won't put anything in the box that's not up to standard wherever we possibly can. And that's always going to be the kind of the challenge for us, is to maintain that level, that standard. But we believe that what we're doing is the right thing for the customer. That we're giving them the best quality that they possibly get, better than the shops could offer. Because bear in mind, the shops, once the retailer puts it on the shelf, it's handled by lots of different people.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the difference. So and so we're mindful that people want freshness and they want the quality, and we don't want to compromise that. That's not what we're about. We're about quality.
And we don't have any. We have very little wastage. Most of the wastage is from say rotten yams or what have you, because we calculate based on the orders. We calculate exactly what's needed, so we don't have anything wasted.
Yeah,
that's the reason why everything is so fresh.
Yeah, and some fruits will have the kind of the odd bruise here and there, but for the most part they are fresh. Okay. But we're also conscious that and yams is always the biggest challenge, actually, because you just don't know what it will look like until it's cut. But we have a kind of a process around that to enable us to determine whether those yams are actually up to scratch to go in the boxes or not.
Okay. Can I ask, because I received a text to ask, are there going to be any special offers? Because we have a standardized packet that you have, small, medium, large, yeah? But are there going to be like special offers that people can actually look at, as a separate package? Or we're doing the specials on the rum. Yeah. And different things, so that people, not only are they ordering their box, but there might be special offers on this that they might want to look into the website that attracts them into the website.
Put it this way, where the rums are concerned, as soon as my guy is back in town, based on the quantity that has been bought, we may be able to offer some offers on this, special offers on the rums, providing that they go. Especially, there's going to be some surprises for you guys, you're going to be absolutely amazed soon. There's going to be some wonderful surprises.
Yeah, and I think obviously where we can offer discounts and things, we will do that. Obviously, we're still in the kind of the phase of getting to the business to a certain level, and we want to be in a position where we can do that from time to time. And also to, for people who've been loyal to us, who've had, subscribed to the box, we would want to be able to, offer them something, etc. So that's something we certainly will be looking at.
Okay.
Excellent. So just to clarify, at the moment, it's only via the website that we're able to place orders presently.
Yes.
So here comes my next question. So an app possibly in the making?
Well, possibly. I mean, obviously apps they're not cheap, those things.
Yeah.
But over time, hopefully once we start to scale up, that's certainly something that that we could look at for the future. But I think most people are pretty much internet savvy these days, in terms of, being able to place their orders and things. We recognise there are some people who are not so keen on it, and that's okay. We're happy to help with, placing the orders on their behalf. But, the internet is there. It's easy to use. Place your order via the website. Any problems, obviously get in touch.
Wonderful.
So what is the general time from order to the doorstep, roughly?
Well, currently with the fruit and veg box, it's 10 days on average. That's the kind of the general, and that's simply because of the volume that we're dealing with at the moment.
Yeah.
When we first started, it was we were looking at a much shorter turnaround time.
Yeah.
Of sort of 5 days on average, 4 to 5 days. But because the volumes are so much greater, we've had to regulate the volumes. But we're working to 10 days, and if we can deliver earlier than that, we certainly will do that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I know your time is nearly up with us now, but in terms of when you started, because I'm very much sort of aware that our viewers that are watching are going to be saying, right, okay, well, we want to know a little bit more on the business side. How did they get to where they got to? So things like loans and so on. Did you have difficulty in raising the capital to start initially? And how did you? I mean, what process did you?
Well, when I started, I thought that my bank would be, my great, supporter. And this was in 2008, and I said, I'd like a small loan to open a physical shop. And I was told, oh yes, of course we can help you with that, but you need to also match that same amount of money that we're going to lend you, which didn't make any sense to me at all. Which has meant that I've had no financial support from anyone, anywhere. Wow. So it's all been self-financing, all of it.
Wow.
All through working full-time and funding the business myself.
Wow.
My word.
So that's basically how it's got to this stage.
So
I've had no business loan.
Are you still working the one job, or are you doing the West Indian thing?
Oh, no, one job. One job. Yeah.
One job.
Yeah.
One job.
Okay.
I don't even have a business overdraft. When I first started, they gave me a small business overdraft of £500, and then they took it away from me after 6 months because I wasn't generating enough income, and so they removed it. And I thought, actually, fine, that's good for me because that means I don't owe you any money.
Yeah. Diversity is always the thing that black businesses would leap over, to be perfectly honest. And it's a way that we need to actually recognise that we're not going to get the support that our cousins do receive. So we have to find ways in which we have to work together collaboratively to actually make things happen. Now, would you consider working collaboratively with another organization who are doing the same thing as you? And is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think is a possibility. I think obviously it would depend on what they're offering. Because obviously we have we like to keep a standard of if you're doing things that are similar, then that will be ideal. Yes.
Because I'm thinking in terms of buying the produce. If you are, no matter what you're doing, if you're collaborating in terms of buying the produce, what you do with the produce thereafter,
it's up to you.
You share, and then you take your bit and you go and do your business. They do their business, but you're getting more boxes because the 2 of you or the 4 of you or whatever are working on the basis of buying the produce. So that may be something that you can invest in the future. And
that's only natural though, because
working together to make that happen. So
indeed. I mean, obviously, as you said, there you go, the collaboration, which we're talking about, because obviously, we've got, we have to be in touch, Joanne, because, we've got members that have, are doing sauces, are doing various other food items as well, where, that collaboration, could be, something
beneficial
to
the
business.
Certainly, yes.
Itself, and grow us all, and obviously, alleviate some of those issues you found initially starting up with no support from the so-called banks. Okay, and getting to where, you know, both of you getting to where you are now.
Yes.
So, you know, this is sort of, you know, brings us back round to, you know, where we need to really get to, which is, you know, looking after each other, collaborating,
absolutely,
together, grow together, so that we can then, you know, invest in other businesses that are coming forward, instead of having to go out to try and find that, you know, that you know, finance and you know, and how's it within. So no, that's fantastic, and you know, it's commendable that you are able to grow the business, you know, through all the adversity, and you know, you know, be thrown off by the banks. And here you are today.
Yes.
So more power to you, and we will keep on supporting you. This isn't a one-off, and Bradley, you know, I am legitimate when I say to you, I'm on the case.
I was going to answer you in Pastor, but I thought I best not.
Yeah, as Dominicans, we know that we have to do the things the right way. Yeah,
certainly. If any of your viewers have any products that they think is suitable for our site, please tell them to get in touch with us.
Yes, please do.
info@windrushbay.com, please.
Yeah, because we're keen to offer the whole range, you know, right the way from, you know, the whole archipelago of the Caribbean islands,
and
from one end to the other,
Montserrat, everywhere. Any of the top range of the islands that they know, just put us in touch, because our intention, like we said, is to cover the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah.
The complete Caribbean Sea, not just one set of islands, because we are one people, irrespective of, we are still one people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're gonna close and say thank you very much. We're gonna just continue, or if you want to, we can continue. It's not a problem. We've gone over the time because we did stay for half an hour. But you know what?
I know, but that's how it goes. But thank you very much for having us.
Yes, and thank you to your viewers and listeners. Once again, want to really just big thanks to all of you, each and every one of you. We really appreciate your support. So, you know, thank you so much.
And thank you for taking care of us in these difficult times. And you take care. And
it's our pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Stay well. Thank you.
Stay well. Bye bye now. Bye bye.
Bye bye.